Okay, awesome. Welcome to the community call. Thank you for joining our November edition. We have some awesome speakers lined up today. Natalia is going to cover Copilot for Finance. What is it? I know that there's obviously so many product areas in ERP these days, and some of the asks are like, take me back to the beginning, right? Give me like a really helpful, like, grounding session. And that also applies for business performance analytics. So really excited to see Laze's session and take us through how you can harness business performance analytics in Dynamics. So before we do that, we want to share some information with you, and we're changing the format up a little bit because we want to make it easier for you as the community to know what's going on, not just in Microsoft, but also what's happening outside of Microsoft as well. So a couple of things we've done to hopefully make your life easier. The first one is we've created a couple of Linktree links. So if you scan that QR code that you can see on the screen, this first one is going to take you to how and where can you engage with Microsoft. And if you go to that QR code, you'll see I've added a load of links in there to start off with, where are the key places you can interact with us? So that includes on our LinkedIn channel, on our YouTube channel, on the community site with the forums. And then we've also put some links into there to show you some of the content that we release every week. So there's a couple of different series on there. We have a Getting Started With series that shows you how to implement some of the new features. We have a What's New With area that's just great short videos that introduce you to new capabilities, and some other links to some other series there. So this first Linktree link is, we're going to keep updating that link so that you can really easily access the latest content. The second and final Linktree link is for upcoming events. So on here, you'll see links to Microsoft events that are upcoming, as well as third-party community-led events. And what we're going to do now is we're going to talk you through some of those events, because we want to make sure you don't miss events that are coming up this month, but also events where there's upcoming submission deadlines, where you might want to register as a speaker or register as an attendee. We want to make that easier for you. So we'll start off with some Microsoft-led events, and then Anna's going to talk through the latest community events that have been announced. So Charles, can I ask you to talk a little bit about Ignite, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Ignite is happening next week. We're really excited about it. If you don't have a ticket, you're probably not going, but there is going to be an online version of it. So feel free to drop in on any of the events that are going to be broadcast. If you are going, there are a couple of things in particular that I'd like to draw your attention to. So one of them is going to be the Demystifying Live. I think you've probably seen some of the Demystifying series on LinkedIn, where I'm sitting there and playing a game with various members of the senior leadership team, where I ask them a question that you guys have submitted to me, and then they have 30 seconds to answer it. So it was so successful, we decided to do a live version of it. They're not going to be restricted 30 seconds, but we are going to be working with Ray Smith, who is known as the father of agents, big title. And he's going to have an opportunity to answer any questions that any of the attendees will have. And I'm sure you're going to have lots of questions about agents. Agents as it relates to ERP, as it relates to Power Platform, whatever it may be. He is here to answer all of your questions. So I'm going to be facilitating that along with one of the MVPs, Angeliki Pastiello. You may know who she is. And then we're going to be doing it again, but for CRM edition. Sadly, no ERP specific edition. But if you are familiar with CRM, or that's part of your portfolio, we're going to be having a couple of members of the senior leadership team in the CRM edition. So we're going to be hosting that as well on the 20th. And then we have some Ask Me Anything sessions. So Ask Me Anything sessions are going to be with various PMs, and it's going to be an opportunity for you to go in and just sit down with them. And if you had any questions, any feedback, any thoughts or concerns, that's going to have pretty wide representation. So we're going to have people from the ERP leadership team, people from CRM, people from Power Platform, people who have ownership of various specific sub-products within them as well. So you'll have an opportunity to meet them all. So you want to know specifically about things like Copilot for Finance. And what is Copilot for Finance? We're actually going to have somebody there who can talk to you about that. So sit down with them, ask your questions, get some feedback, whatever you need. And then finally, if you were at the Power Platform conference, you might have remembered something called Ask a Super User. And Ask a Super User was a place where you could go and work one-on-one with a super user. So super user is one of the people who earn that badge on the platforms. So we decided to expand the concept a little bit. So we've now decided to call it the Live Consult Hub, where we're going to have a combination of MVPs, of super users, of Microsoft employees like technical specialists who are going to work with people one-on-one. So if you have a Power App you're working on, if you have an error message you can't quite figure out, you can work one-on-one with them to try and figure things out, try and plan or design an application, whatever you need. You get one-on-one time with some of the best people at Microsoft. We could actually use a couple of volunteers on the ERP side. I think ERP is a little underrepresented. So if anyone is going to be at Ignite and wants to be a volunteer expert, send me a message in chat and I'll get you set up because I'd love to have a couple of people who represent ERP on this.
Awesome. Thanks, Charles.
Yep.
Okay, Anna, do you want to talk through the community-led events, starting with Dynamics Con, which is literally right here, right now, today?
So it's happening now. We're very lucky that some of the members that are joining today are pausing the conference to join us. So thank you. So basically you can go Dynamics Con. It's a free event and you can attend online. If you still have some time today, you can sorry, I get distracted by the chat. Yes, you can just go and have a look at the sessions available. You see that there's a very wide range of sessions, luckily across the business app. So yeah, just feel free to have a look at it. Then we also have Collab Days in Oslo. It's for free. Call for speakers has been closed. It's already closed, but it's also a community-driven event. I've seen the lineup and I think it's very good. And it also goes cross. It's not only biz apps, but we can see that's also modern workplace or modern work or whatever it's called today. So it has not only the biz apps, but also integration between different technologies. So I find it very interesting, not only biz apps, but maybe a little bit outside our comfort zone.
Awesome.
Then Hamburg Color Cloud. Well, I've been to this one last year. I even have a tattoo that has the logo of this one. This event is happening in Hamburg. It includes all the business applications. So we're gathering people from Power Platform, but we are also making a lot of emphasis in finance and Business Central. So if you are part of this community or you're here in the call or listening to the recording, just please submit your sessions. It's a very nice event. It's very nice, very interesting. And yeah, I think it's also very colorful. That's why I like it a lot. And just call for speakers open. So maybe just run. You have remaining 4 days. And yeah, just go for it. They will be announcing very shortly the first sort of selected speakers. And then later in the 2025, we'll be announcing the second, batch of speakers. So yes. Dynamics Minds. Okay, we have people here that have been attending. I see Laze is already. Yeah. Okay, so this is an event that is. Oh, wait, what did I? No. Yeah, so this event is called for speakers open. You can attend as an attendee if you don't want to speak. It's a paid event. We had Miha last time that he's part of the organizing team. And the call for speaker is open. However, we're also going to have a first selection and then we're going to release a second batch. So I would highly recommend that the sooner you submit, the better. So yeah, this is Dynamics Minds. And do we have something else? Yes, yeah, EPPC. Yeah, it's also across Dynamics like business applications. It's a very nice event. Call for Speakers still open until the 10th of December, and there are so different types of sessions. There are regular sessions, maybe there are more than 2, but the main ones are sessions and also workshops. So you can submit to do a workshop full day or half a day. Just go and see it. It's going to be in Vienna, so it's going to be very nice, and you have the dates already here. So looking forward to see your submissions across these events.
Thanks, Anna.
Of course.
I'm going to put a little poll in the chat in a minute to say, like, is that information helpful? We want to make sure that the time we're using on this call is beneficial to you. So I'm going to do a couple of polls today. Was that helpful? If you could add something, what would you add? If you were going to take away something, what are you finding less helpful? So we want to continue. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Lydia. I think that it's also interesting that now we have Ryan in the chat that also adding some events. So we may not cover all of them. So please feel free to send this to us so we can add it to our deck and we can share it with the rest of the community. Just wanted to do that, to say that. That's it. Sorry for interrupting.
No, we're good. Thanks, Anna. And thanks, Ryan, for putting that in as well. Anything that we missed, please promote in the chat. Okay, a couple of other things before we hand over to our speakers. We just wanted to give you a little update about what is happening with the forums. We are, actually, this text on screen is out of date. We're consolidating the number of forums on the site, and it's actually already been deployed. We shared this information with a CRM call last week, so just want you to know that we're doing this to make it easier for you to get to the right answers faster. So we've consolidated some of those forums to make that easier for you. And then one last thing before we jump into our first speaker, very exciting, we're introducing community call badges. We want to acknowledge the effort that so many of you are putting in on these calls. And we're obviously thrilled to have our presenters who, without them, we wouldn't have these calls. But there's other ways that people are delivering impact as well. So we've created 5 different badges. And the idea is that you can share these on social media, and we've also created them as wraparounds for your images on LinkedIn or any other social channel. And we've created 5. The first one, engagement enthusiast, is the folks who are so chatty in the chat, who are so grateful for you keeping the energy up and sharing your excitement during the call. Innovation influencer are the folks who have been reaching out and saying, I want to propose that you cover this topic. This is something that would be really helpful for me. Invitation icon is the friends on the call who are inviting other folks to come and join us, to say, hey, come and attend this call. Let's all be together to share our ERP knowledge. Feedback fan is you're letting us know things that you're loving, things that you would like to see tweaked. That's incredibly helpful as we continue to evolve. And then the final one, presentation prodigies. You can see we've gone hard with the alliteration on these badges. So really thrilled to have these. We're going to start handing these out on future calls. So put in the chat any names who you think are worthy of receiving the badges. And this is an opportunity to see the kind of badges you could get if you choose to engage with us in any of those ways. So very excited about those. Okay, why don't we hand over to Natalia, who's going to talk us through Copilot for Finance. Natalia, you should have presentation, right? So you should be able to just take over the screen share.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my, do I share my screen or?
Yeah, please. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, perfect. 1 second. Okay. So do you see my screen? I think it's...
we do, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Hi all, my name is Natalia Salas. Oh, let me change my... Okay. My name is Natalia Salas. I'm Dynamics 365 financial functional consultant and also in Microsoft MVP for business applications. This is my LinkedIn. I'm in my free time. I always say my free time when I can. I write a blog with some things that I'm discovering in the system, some support cases, or everything that I find it helpful. This is my blog. It's in Spanish. I'm Argentine and I live in Madrid, so most of the things are in Spanish, but you can translate it using the widget of Google Translator, or sometimes I'm speaking in English. And Futuro 365 is another page with two friends. We have a program to teach the system or to explain our work in consultancy to, well, most of the time to another girls or diversity. Our idea is to include more women in technology, so everybody is welcome. The sessions are the program, and the program is for free in Spanish, but well, maybe in the future we can do something in English too. Everybody is welcome. So we are going to talk about Copilot for Finance now. It's in preview, it's super new, but I wanted to talk about this because I think it's the perfect moment to start working with it. It's an application, it's an add-in linked with two applications of the Microsoft family. In Outlook, it's related to collections, and in Excel, it's related to data reconciliation. As it's in preview yet, we can link it with the ERP, only with demo and UIT environments. So I'm going to show you some little things about it, so you can test it. And believe me, it's super helpful. Let's start with the Copilot for Finance in Outlook. To connect it with the ERP, you have to add the add-in and then link to the environment you want to use it. I'm going to show you directly in Outlook. Wait me 1 second. So, for example, this is an example of an email that maybe a collection agent can receive one day. And the first thing we are going to see when we click on the add-in is that we are having an email summary. It's super amazing and helpful for people, for example, like me, that don't want to read everything to try to remember what we have been talking before. So we have the summary, and we can have a suggestion to reply it. I'm going to write here. I have a prompt. I'm going to copy and paste it. For example, this is a case that I'm saying, this is a new person. I'm going to introduce myself as the accounts payable responsible, but please say I want to collect my invoices. So I can define the tone that I want to speak with this person, and I think it's super helpful, for example, for when you have to talk with different cultures, that sometimes you have to be more friendly or more urgent, or you have to write, well, medium, not very long emails. And Copilot is going to create an amazing email. And if you want to answer, I'm going to I'm going to answer here. Wait 1 second. I'm going to pay. You only have to click on add to draft. And if you are not super sure, you can regenerate and adjust it. Another thing that you can do is to add the invoices or add the account statement to the email. For example, reply with overdue invoices or with the account statement of this customer that we have linked to Copilot. It's creating a draft. And it's also linking it directly, so maybe it's taking just 2 or 3 seconds. I'm super sick today. I don't want to cough in the session. So we can add it to the draft and we have it here. And it's the same with the invoices. It's coming from the ERP directly. So another thing is that we can do is to add this person to as contact in a customer in the system. And if I click, we can check that we can see the customer details that we have in Dynamics. We can check the agent history here. And this is something that I super love because it's super linked to the ERP. We can change the aging periods. This is a super contoso environment, but we can check and analyze the information of the balances directly. And however, we can check which is the view of this customer. For outstanding invoices, we can add it and attach them also to the draft, or we can download it from the Outlook directly. And with update, we can change the status. This is going to create an activity directly in the system. For example, we can say this is dispute, and the promise to pay is broken. We have a new date. And if we say it's going to change and create a new activity for this invoice. And the same, if we download, we can download only one invoice or we can download all the invoices. This is going to download the zip with all of them. I'm going to do it, but it will take a little bit. But this downloads all the invoices, I think only the last 10 in my computer, directly in my download folder. And in the related activities, we are going to see all the related activities of these customers. For example, emails, collection cards, all the activities to call or to send emails. Everything related to this customer is going to be here. And we can also come back, save this email. If someone, one of my coworkers wants to see it, can save this email or attach a note. Well, this is download here. We can select this customer and write a note. I'm not very creative. The idea is that if some of my coworkers checks this email, can check the related notes directly from here instead of going to the system. And if we have a contact that is not saved, for example, in copy or another person, can be saved directly from here, or we can edit the information of the contact also directly from here. And for I have a lot of presentations just in case, but I'm going super fast to Copilot for Finance in Excel. That the difference with the Copilot for Finance in Outlook is that here we are going to talk about data reconciliation. To add the add-in, we have to download the add-in in Excel, and then directly in the system, we can click and use it. I'm going to show it with the preview with simple data because it's not already connected. I think the idea is to export or to open the add-in from Dynamics, but well, now we can test it using Copilot from Finance, and we have some data provided by Copilot. Or something that I have done to test it, I have been testing this a lot, I have been playing with it, is to export the information from Dynamics and creating different sheets here. And the most important thing is that it needs to have the format for a table to be recognized by this add-in. So once that we have all the information in different tables and different sheets, we are going to click on reconciliate data. And as you can see, we have in the worksheet one, we have this table, and we have the next one. So now Copilot creates some rules to match the information. So for example, the first one is analyzed by Copilot, saying, for example, the field A of date of treat budget seems that it's the same that A transaction date. So these two are going to be analyzed to match the transactions, and the same with expenditure category and the transaction category and the amounts. We can adjust these rules if we don't want, and we can change, for example, only match partially this one because, well, dates cannot be always so accurate. Once that we have all these reconciliation rules created, if we click on next, we are going to see this reconciliation report. A little trick here, because I spent a lot of time trying to guess why I was seeing only this difference. All the financial people probably did all the calculations, but we have to click here, and now we are going to see the correct difference. This is only a little thing to check if this is correct. And once that everything finished, we are going to see the result of the summary, the unmatched transactions, and the transactions that were matched completely, and the potentially matched transactions. And the summary is going to be here. We can read everything from here. We can regenerate, save it as PDF if we need to send it to someone, or we can include it in the report. And this is easier to read. But something that I like a lot, and I have been playing a lot with this, is that if we we click on troubleshoot the transaction, Copilot is going to check why it was not matched, and it's going to make a proposal to check. For example, check if the currency difference between has an equivalent. If we check the information here, it's in euros, and if we check the information here, it's in Canadian dollars. So maybe this is one of the reasons that it was not fully matched. I have been checking some things. I'm going to show you. This is some of the, well, I was just exporting the data in the system and playing with Copilot, and most of the unmatched transactions were analyzed, and the suggestion of Copilot was super correct. I had some currency differences. It analyzes totals. Copilot makes the summarization of the transactions to check if it can be matched. Some of them were related to periods. Maybe the transactions were posted later, so that's why the dates were not matched. And this is the most fun of the things. I try to break it. So I said I'm going to test with transactions with invoices and payments against the accounting. And Copilot answered, Natalia, you have already matched these transactions, so that's why you have 0 against a balance. So let me tell you that it has a lot of potential. So I think although it's in preview, it's the perfect moment to start testing it and using it. And if you have any question, this is my LinkedIn, again, Futuro, and my blog. If there aren't any questions, this is everything.
That was awesome. That was such a fantastic introduction. And I love how much you were testing, trying to break it as well. That's true commitment.
Yes, that's the fun part of testing. Try to break it.
That was so awesome. Thank you so much. Before we move on to our second speaker, I'm just going to put a couple of questions in the chat. Polls. So if we can just answer those, that would be awesome. And then we'll move on to our second speaker. How long would you say you've been playing with Copilot for finance, Natalia?
For how long?
Yeah.
A lot. I couldn't play more because I have to work, but I really try to break it down. Yeah. I was trying to figure out which were of the things that are commonly done. My poor users are spending a lot of time in a day painting the difference. So
that's awesome. I love it. Lots of folks were engaging in the chat. I didn't see any specific questions coming out, but just lots of excitement and opinions about how useful it is for different use cases. So thank you for doing such an excellent coverage of the solution. Okay, I'm going to put one more question.
Okay.
And then hand over to you, Anna.
Perfect. Okay. Whenever you're ready, Lydia, let me know.
Yeah, fire away. Go ahead.
Okay, great. So we have our second speaker. If you haven't heard him speak yet, well, this is an experience. So I hope you're prepared. It's very, very likely that you feel really engaged. I will share the Laze contact details also, as I did with Natalia in the chat. You can reach out. It's very helpful for speakers as well if we write to them and we say, okay, I like this, or I don't know how this works, or maybe can you tell me a bit more about this topic? So I think it's very helpful if you can reach out. They will be very glad. So yeah, I would like to just hand over to you, Lasse. I don't know if you want to say anything else before starting your session.
No. Thank you. All right. Thank you for this introduction, Anna. I'm now very stressful that I will disappoint. Hopefully.
No, of course not.
All right, let me try. Oh, it says that I cannot present. Give me a sec. But other than that, yeah, I will share my presentation. No, I think that's the wrong screen.
We're seeing your planets.
Yes, my planets are the best, honestly.
They're very nice.
They're made from candies.
Are they? That's
Yeah.
Designer Midjourney?
No, I think it's a Windows 11 out of the box background for education. All right, can you see what?
Okay. Yes, we can.
All right. So thank you, Anna, again. Thank you, Tim. I'm very excited to join here. As Anna said, so I'm a solution architect in FNO, mostly in FNO, starting to move into the Power Platform on the dark side or the purple side. Have like a 16 years experience in Dynamics. I do a bunch of stuff. Started as developer. I'm an MVP from this year. I don't know how that happened, but here we are. I'm also Microsoft certified trainer for, I don't know, it could be like 6-7 years, maybe more. I don't understand. These are my socials, so you can find me here. Reach out. It's always cool to see different people and their experience. So I will talk about BPA today and how BPA can solve. I hope that most of you have heard about BPA. It was probably done. I have been included in this product with PG Group from literally day one. At the start, it was called Project Comachina, and I got very excited to get involved with it because this product was literally at that time from Microsoft. They just shared us in a private preview. They just shared us Power BI, PBIX file, and also an Excel file, and just tell us, hey, here is the data set, just connect to it and try to do stuff. As Natalia said, I was trying to break it, and I broke it so many times. Honestly, I broke it so many times, even production once. But here we are. BPA, or Business Performance Analytics, which is the latest and official name, is finally live. I will show you a demo on the end. There's some stuff that I can present here. First, I will try to go to the slides very, very quickly, and then I will present all of the demos that I have here for you. I have a Contoso vanilla environment. BPA went live on 30th of October, so everyone can install, and you can create it in your production environment, although there's some tags where it says preview, but we'll talk about that later. So this is our short agenda. Here is what it looks like. What is it? So it is technically BPA tries to resolve all of the challenges that we encounter daily into the reportings, especially in the ERP side. Oh my God, reporting can be such a struggle sometimes. So BPA is coming from the background and creating this kind of a framework so that everyone can lift up people, can help them out, and especially business. And mostly, especially like a smaller organization or medium-sized organization, they don't know where to start. It can be a very, very expensive process just so they can see their information, they can present their information, their quarterly, their sales, their expenses. Sometimes it can be a very costly process, and instead of that, Microsoft here is trying to create some base formula that everyone can use and build upon that. What are the guiding principles here? So the goal is to prioritize the intuitive user experience. It should be very easy to develop, the very important stuff, so that on top of it, you can develop. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And it is very simple to create reports in the Excel and Power BI. That is how I got included into this years back, honestly. So this is a years-long story. My customer wanted to implement a very sketchy solution, which someone from sales came from a sketchy company and tried to sell like a real-time Excel add-in solution for FNO reporting that you can see. And when I saw the architecture, it was very, very dodgy indeed. They were trying to create like a native database in Azure virtual machine and call data for the old data, and then it's just a total mess. So this solution actually is trying to overcome that, and I'm going to show you how that works and how it is its current situation and what are the future plans. The goal, all of these points that you can see here, I will not read anything. The goal is that you can, all of this will be live or will be possible in the next couple of months. Right. So how does it work and how does it look? The goal, all of these functionalities are on top. So we can see on the bottom On the bottom here, we have our Dynamics applications. The tiered applications, which are the ERP. We have a gray window here, which we'll talk about a little bit before. Here we have our business processes. So we have record to report, record to pay, order to cash. Everyone that has been implementing in the ERP world has heard about this, especially in LCS. Sometimes they're very boring, but they're very important, honestly, and they're technology agnostic on the end. They are governed and secured access, and everything, as you can see here, they're very familiar and trendy icons. So Dataverse and Fabric, oh my God, this icon is amazing, isn't it? You can see it everywhere. Everything is in Fabric. And then the analytics can be done in the Power BI, in Excel. You can see some insights and you can talk with the data. How we can use the BPA? So you will need all of these analytics out of the box. Everything is provided in these models, which I will discuss in the next couple of slides. Everything is out of the box. It is fresh out of the box, and it is managed for you by Microsoft. You don't have to do anything in order to view those reports. But then, if you want, you can extend them with your own reports that you have invested maybe sometimes implementing or not. And I will show you actually a real life demo or maybe screenshots from a customer that I did just recently in the last couple of weeks from their requirements. You can have user-friendly interface. It's a cost-effective solution, and the goal is that then you can unify with the scalable data models. All right, these are the data value chains as we discussed. These are the reports or different business processes. I'll not go through them, of course. That is boring for everyone. I don't want to keep you awake this stage. So what are the dimensional model? It follows the Kimball methodology for easy query and performance, and it's very consistent, and it's a single source of truth. The structure is that there is star schema, and there are some tables and also dimensions. I need to be faster because I see that I'm flipping. Here is the star schema. So what is the star schema? If you don't know, I think you should ask Copilot at this stage. It will be very fast, and they will answer you. Here is how star schema looks like, and all of the facts and the tables, how they are connected with each other. And this is bringing this nice, very fast experience. What are the elements of data model? So the facts it is important, but actually, as a part of my demo that I will present, you will see that this information, exactly what you have here in the slide, it is missing. It's not explained. But in the next update, which was delayed a couple of weeks now, but I think Microsoft will publish by the end of the day. That's what I heard, that when it will be available. So this is already ready, will be rolled out. All of this detailed information about the model, about the fact table, everything will be directly in the product. So everything will be in the BPA. So the facts are our capture metrics, and then we have our, of course, dimensioning for filtering. Here is the order to cash model, for example, all of the business processes. So we have the sales orders fact, the service order, pick and click, packing slip, and on the right side, we have all of the dimensions. I think these slides will be shared by the team after our call, so you will be able to deep dive a little bit more in that. What are the reporting basics? You need to define your report, choose a fact table, apply your dimensions, select the visuals, and you're ready to go. Bam, boom, bap. It's a 3-step wizard. Everything is clicking. What are the costs? Very important question. It is free. I mean, almost. So you need the D365 Finance license, and all of your 8 most recent quarters. If you are grandfathered like we, because I started in the very preview phase, we have more quarters there, so you will have more data, but now it is technically 8 quarters are there, and they will fit in one Power BI SKU. It works as promised. There will be 2 data refreshes by the end of this month, so this is not still live because, as I said, that update was delayed. But after that, the next year, there will be a limited refresh, something similar like you have in Fabric. You can extend and also extend it upon it. Here is the roadmap. So it is live now. As I said, it is GA. The goal of this, what I was presenting, is that those things were already in the GA. They're not. It's live. But the next thing that we will present, all the models are required to dispose in February. We see the more frequent data refreshes. That is something that will come as part of the Microsoft efforts to improve the Tina. Also, this is the framework on the Fabric. So all of this is technically on Dataverse and on Fabric, which is now, everything is merging into Power Platform. We are all going to live there. And in April, we'll have all of, as we can see here, the supply chain data models, some commerce data models, which is very good for me because that is a month where we plan to go live with commerce. But yeah, these are the transitions for now. Things can change, how it is. How is the architecture? So very interesting for some of you, very boring, but how it looks like is that you have this option on the left side, it's FNO, it is extracting, it is using data entities. All of these data entities are native, so you don't have to do anything about that. When you select and you install BPA, you technically are installing everything on your Power Platform that is connected to your FNO environment. So on the Power Platform,
but it certainly played a large part. That's right. It's a contraption.
Sorry, was someone saying to me? All right. So on the Power Platform environment that is connected to your FNO environment, you're going to install it. It is a Power App. Deal with it. Everything is going to Power Platform. It is a Power App, and it's connected through your managed data lake. So this is not the data lake that you will have in your own sandbox environment. This is a managed data lake, so technically on your Dataverse environment. Here, the virtual enter is exporting the data. The Spark jobs are converting the data. It's to the scene of serverless. It goes to the analytical tables, and then you have Boom Threads Power BI dataset, which is an embedded Power BI dataset. And on the top, as we see here, we have the Power App, and we have some Excel extendability and also the Power BI reports. How it is working, very similar to what I explained. There are analytical models in the lake. So what Microsoft is trying to do is they're trying to create a very technology agnostic analytical model that can be utilized for many, many different purposes. But the goal is that this model can satisfy all of your needs and you can extend upon it. So it's not that only you work in this very confined space. And all of that is in the managed Dataverse environment and together with your Power BI datasets. But on top, you have your app where you can export Excel and Power BI analytics. Now, how that works with Fabric is that everything that you have in your Power App, you just create a link to Fabric. So you need to have, of course, a workspace which is hosted in a Fabric or a Power BI premium capacity. And when you do that linkage, it's literally automatic. You just add the workspace ID. All of your lakehouse is created directly. A shortcut is created. So technically, the data that is here, it is not copied to Fabric. It's just a shortcut. So immediately, it's possible that you can see it. Immediately, you just refresh. It takes like 5 minutes. You can see your data and work. And you can see here that it says BPA datasets, but your own data. So what is happening in this world? So some of you probably know that the export to data lake, for example, the reporting, it's deprecated. Literally, it is out of service at the moment. So people are moving. There is still like bring your own database scenarios for reporting. There are also some other HackMan reporting, but people have different models that are working. Some there is manual data information that are imported. So you can connect directly to those reports and use the data that is exported from BPA and utilize that information. This is something that I just did it in the last couple of weeks. The customer came and said, hey, we really need something very important for us. We really need to understand that some of our purchase orders that are done from different aspects, so from different sites and different distribution center or different stores, we want to see what are the price for a specific product, which is can be purchased from multiple suppliers. How can we track that expense in a trending history, how that looks like. And that is actually helping out, especially for the purchase order approval process, so that someone submits a purchase order and then needs to approve it and to see is the price right for this? Does it look okay? Have we purchased from another supplier? Is it this supplier? What is the price, the previous price, and so on and so on. Which here on the left side, we can see that these are the, let's say, generic, our custom tables, which we're using BOD, technically bring your own database, and they're exported here. And on the right side, we can see that these are my semantic model from BPA. So I have just linked it to my same workspace, joined them through the PO number, and voila, we created a report for the product pricing timeline. And here we can say that this was quickly to be done, honestly, in less than a day. And because we already have all of the information, the people were not even aware. You don't have to do any deployment. There was no development in FNO. There is nothing. You just connect your BPA, which is already installed, and everything was done in Fabric directly. And here we can see that I can select multiple products. I can select multiple suppliers. I can see how my products in the timeline when it was purchased. If I point out to the timeline, I can see what's the product ID, what's the unit price, the name of the product, what is the supplier, what was the unit price, and so on. So sorry for the blurred stuff, but this is real production environment and confidential information. Right. So how that works. The goal is that you can extend, you can use your FNO extensibility. And at the moment, what is everybody requesting is, what if you have your own fields, your own fields in your own tables? For example, in your sales line or your purchase order, those are not exported. So only native stuff that are in the tables in the entities are exported. But that is literally changing by the end of the year, when all of the extensibility that we have done in our tables, in the native tables that are exported and are part of the semantic model in BPA, those will be pushed as well. So you will be able in the BPA model from Microsoft to have your own custom fields, which is amazing. Everybody is looking for that. And the next step after that is that we will have also we can be able to select all our custom data, all our custom information, but that is a little bit further down the line. As you can see here, we can extend or add FNO entities and bring everything into BPA. What is the goal here of Microsoft is actually to create one giant thing. Everything is into one model, and bring your own stuff, And on the bottom here, you will see other systems. So we have the contract system, something. If you saw I think the release in 42 or 3, now you can import and connect FNO with an external system. You have a third-party system or other ERP say, hey, this is a cool system. Do you want to join the gang? Come on, share your information, connect with our analytical model, and we'll host all of your reportings. Now, let me wake you up, because I will start to share my screen and show you a demo of, I hope it is the correct screen finally. All right. So here is, hopefully you can see my screen. Can someone confirm?
We're still
Yes,
seeing,
we can.
But it's the slides, is that right?
This
there
one
we
is.
go. Yeah, now we can see
Well,
it.
thank you.
Perfect.
Sorry. So what is
No,
BPA? As I said, BPA is just a power up. So this is your Dataverse environment, which is connected to FNO. It is just one application. So you select it from the rest of your other Sloop web application, like you have CRM and so on and so on. What do we have? If you go after you install it, this you need to go to the administration home. There are a couple of stuff that you can do. So the security is not transferred, is not coming from FNO. It is a native security. You need to create your own roles. So you will be able to create, like a native report viewer. You can create multiple roles. You can create roles that are based on dimensions, meaning that some users can see one dimension, the other users can see other dimensions. As you can see here, that someone already created, I can create my users, but that will not bother anybody. And here is how you can also link it through Fabric. What is coming out of the box are these reports. So as you see, I just open up a new report that is created from Microsoft, and all of my information is already shown or refreshed. I can, of course, update my dates here. For example, I want to see more information, and this is a Contoso database, so I cannot show real production information from a client. But you can see all of the information, and you can play around with it. What else you can do is actually by clicking duplicate. You will be able to create a real copy of this report, and then you can modify everything with it. As you see now, this balance sheet is named balance sheet 1, and here I have the possibility to click on my edit button, see my data and my facts from my model, and I can really play with my information. For example, if I want to create, I don't want to see this view, I want to have a table view instead of a matrix view. Bam, I just click the button and now I have a table view of that report, or maybe you have a part chart that you want to see, or something else that we want to see. Yes, that is really visible for you. For example, Okay, let me go to the other reports. Here we can also sort the reports by their type. If you see there are some custom. So what is Microsoft? You cannot edit. What you can do with it, you can just duplicate. I have my native, if I sort them by name, the native vendor invoices report, it is showing up the data which is consolidated in this matrix, which is maybe useful, but not sometimes people don't want to drop down. They want to see the whole global perspective. Instead of that, what I did here is I created a copy of that report for a community call. I did not modify any other information. I just created a duplicate of that report to see how different now it looks. So I created the same data, but I just duplicated multiple times and wanted to show it in a different way. Here I have my information shown in a grid. It's a Contoso environment, so not a lot of information, but I have my information shown as a grid, so I can see all of my data. And as I click that, I can see all of the subledgers that are connected with it. I can see my graphs that are updated. So here I can see what are the amounts per country, what are the amounts per supplier, and what are the amounts per product that I have spent. And because the model is, all of the model is connected automatically, you don't have to do anything. So anything that you try to filter, as you can see, everything is dynamically and it is refreshing automatically. It's just magic. We have something similar, for example, on the trial balance, but you can also start by creating your own report by just starting something and say, hey, I want to die. I'm a developer. I'm not really a Power BI guy, but you can check, say, do you want to duplicate an existing report, start a blank report, or what you can do is very cool, is you can create an Excel report. But in fact, if you want to create a new report, that is also a possibility. What it will show up is literally like the other reports that I just showed you, and on the side you will have the semantic model. All right, I'll leave that and just show you now how everything looks like in Excel. So here is my Excel. The first time when you create a report in Excel, it will literally, ask you, like Natalia was showing about the Copilot, the Copilot for finance. Here it is. You can see that button as well. So we'll ask you to install some stuff, but after that, everything, you can keep your Excel file locally, and or somewhere in a SharePoint, you just open it and everything is linked because you have, you have an extension here. And as soon as you generate or save your report, you can just click save, and that is going to be saved back. Your settings are going to be saved back to BPA. So in the cloud, everything is saved back. So if everyone you want to share this report, when they download it, it will be as the one you have saved, or you want to download it for later. I've on the right side, you will see all of my facts and all of my BPA, the full semantic model, and you can work with it. If you want, you can, this is real life information, everything that is connected. So if you wanna add something else, for example, if you wanna add another column, which is the date, it's not going to work because I did something wrong probably, but everything, it is coming from here, and it is a trial balance report working as the same one as it is shown in the same one that is shown in the application. Yes, so here, of course, all of the filters are directly brought up, so you can select, and everything is dynamically, it will work, and all of this information is fetched directly from BPA. Right, questions?
There are a few questions in the chat. Some of the questions that have come up are, do you see this replacing Financial Reporter or enhancing it? Is the first question.
So Microsoft officially, I think officially says that this is enhancing, is not replacing, but we all know where that is going. That thing is finally, I think we need to bury it together with the LCS, and eventually all of this reporting and different sources like entity store or embedded reports. The goal eventually is everything is moving to BPA. So it want to centralize your reporting habits.
Next question. If we can create the same reports in Power BI, can we create the same reports in Power BI? And if yes, why do we need BPA?
you can create, this is just an option that works out of the box. Of course that you can create your reports, but if you're going and implementing a project and say, hey, I need to implement this and it will take you 10 days and this is the cost, why would you do it? Or you're creating a report, but some of the information, of, let's be honest, like 70% or maybe even more, 80% of the information will already be there. So you can just use this as a starting point, then just use it as a possibility. I can share also something, how this link works. Like, so for example, can I, Lydia, share 1 more minute, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I come back here and the thing that I showed you about Fabric. So if I come back to here in my settings page, I can see that I have linked to Fabric. I can open, oh, of course, that is not working because don't look at the URL, it's still in preview. But if I just come to my Fabric workspace where my BPA is linked to, I can see directly my lakehouse. So here you see that my lakehouse is there, and I can select that lakehouse and I can see real life information. Now, what you have here is not only your lakehouse, but you have your semantic model, which is the BPA model that Microsoft created. So you can do a couple of things. But that is a longer demo. What you can do is you can open your semantic model and you can tell now to this solution, hey, why don't you create me and use auto report creation possibility with Power BI Copilot, and it will try to create you automatically a report from this information that you have. Here are all of the facts and tables, and you can use directly. So this is, as you can see, this is in Fabric directly, so it is in Power BI. So this might be your starting point in building your own reports.
A couple of other questions. Vice versa, if we have BPA, do we still need the Synapse or Fabric link?
So the Fabric link, you probably, it depends. You know what consultancy says? It depends. You'll never get a yes or no answer, of course. Depending of your organization and needs, you probably would recommend that you will need a small Fabric workspace so that you can create your own custom information, so that you can link your BPA to that Fabric and create your own reports more natively. But there are organizations for sure that will try and implement everything directly into Fabric. Be aware that for now it is finance licenses already needed, but as the things are progressing and your data is loading in the managed lake, we can also see that probably we can utilize some other licenses like Fabric Premium or Capacity, which some other people will talk about, and archiving. Yeah, you can, but it really depends on what are your needs.
Awesome. And then there are a couple more questions, and then I think we'll cut it at that point.
Yes.
I don't know if you'll know the answer to this. Is there a plan to build enterprise performance management, like financial consolidations, budgeting, planning?
So the BPP, I think someone said, I see Bill mentioned the BPP, the business performance planning. I am not sure if it was in a private preview call, but I was I think last week about this. But BPP is coming directly in BPA. So technically, all your business performance planning possibilities for planning will be directly linked to BPA, and the product team is still gathering these requirements of how, in which direction to going to not go in a weird direction. But yes, all of your planning, performance plannings will be linked to this out of the box.
Awesome. And then final one, is there any cost to the data pulled from product data for these reports?
Not at the moment, but as the data is growing, there were also performance issues at the start, because there was, especially in the initial sync, when you link, for example, if you have like 6 years of data, and that's why they tried to limit it to 8 quarters, it was taking a long time just to convert that initial link. After that is all the time in the incremental link. So now the report, when I show it, it's only once in a day. In the couple of weeks, it will be literally twice in a day, and then the goal is just literally those Spark jobs will run in the background continuously, and you have all the time you're seeing almost real-time production-like data.
Awesome, thank you. There's one more message in the chat, but maybe you can type to it, just because I'm very conscious of holding people over time.
All right. All right. Thank you, Lydia.
That was awesome. You're clearly an expert. So thank you very much. That was really comprehensive.
I told you.
Yeah,
Didn't I?
nailed it. You
Warned
did.
everyone.
You did.
This time I even have voice, Anna. It's not like that.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. We will see you on the December call. Hope everyone has a great afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you're based. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very,
Bye.
very
Thank
much.
you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.